If you ever get to the sea at the time when the evening star is lit on the robes of the Mother Night, you may see a lonely figure with her empty white palms open to the starlight. Or maybe not, for this mute, disfigured one, no more of the sea, forsaken by the earth, and not yet of the stars, prefers not to be seen. What do I really own, with deep down in my heart knowing? I own my regret and yearning. I own my loneliness and longing to unity. So much that I have externalized it and my outer life circumstances. I love my daughter, my mute mermaid, and the beauty of the wilderness. But how I would uncreate my inner unreality, my human creation, and stop owning.
Thank you very much. We are all a part of you. It's question, let's see, 27.
Hello?
Back away from the microphone, please. No, don't touch the microphone. Just stand back.
Okay. Question number 27 is, what are you trying to own? When I asked myself this question, the answer that came back to me is myself. I'm trying to own myself and resolve the issue of being one of God, being owned by God. Giving my life to God. I'm 23 years old and working with issues of being adulthood, owning my adulthood and my womanhood and my identity as an adult, and taking ownership and responsibility for my life. Taking command of my special mission in life. There is still a part of me that believes that in order to be special, you have to be better than other people, which also stems from pride. And then the pride gives a feeling of inadequacy. So that is what I'm working with in trying to own myself. I need to own something in order to be able to give it. So I'm trying to define myself and own myself in order to give it to God, give my life to God. I need to trust myself enough that I will still be myself and not lose myself in God. And still be special. Thank you.
My question is 28. Good morning, Mother, and good morning, hopeful Ascended Masters. This is on page 36. How can you truly own it? Well, referring to what Lanello just said and referring to the book, the text in the chapter, I feel that mainly to thine own self be true. I have to work on that totally, completely. And I also feel that I can refer to things like what Jesus has said and what Lanello said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all things will be given unto you. Ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. All of these things I know, and I also know that I am a daughter of God, and I am inheriting all of this. But I also know that I have to work on the ability to receive all of these things, like working on my chakras, service, sacrifice, and surrender. And I think that when I do all of these things, that I will own it. I think that we are sort of like airplanes, a jet. We may be the most expensive jet, have all of the latest components to the jet. We fly well, better than anything else. But if everything isn't okay, everything isn't checked out, there can just be one bolt that's missing. It doesn't fly. And so I think I'm going to have to work on all of this, all of my chakras, all of my surrender, sacrifice, and service, my decrees, and let the light flow through me. And when that does happen, then I will own it. Thank you.
I would like to tell you that my thoughts on ownership, it really does play into all for a rag, doesn't it? I am very much at peace knowing that I do not own myself, that I do not want to own myself, because I have given myself to El Moria, and he owns me. And I'm very, very happy in that relationship. I'm very happy in the teaching of Jesus to Catherine of Siena, when he taught her the simple mantra, I the all, thou the nothing. He taught me to repeat that again and again. And so he told me he was the all and I am the nothing. And my understanding of this is that the nothingness is the vacuum. And into that vacuum, Jesus pours himself. If I am something, then I'm no longer a vessel. I'm a vessel that's filled rather than empty. To be owned by God because you have surrendered to God is, to me, the definition of bliss. Let us take the next question. Do we have someone for this?
Good afternoon, Mother. Good afternoon, everyone. I wasn't sure if it was my question. My question is number 31 and number 32. So I'm not sure if we have skipped or if it is my turn.
Is there a 29 here? No one has 29. Is that right? And does anyone have 30? And you have 31?
I have 31 and 32.
Okay, well, you have 30? Are you ready? Okay. He's going
Shall I
to.
go
He's
now?
one step ahead of you. You'll be the next after him.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Hello, Mother. Hello, everybody. Before I start, I just want to express my gratitude to you, Mother, and to El Moria and Lanello and Maicia for reestablishing the Mystery School and allowing us to be here. So thank you. My question is, what kind of things can you do to support instead of judge? There are many things you can do, and I think you just have to do them out of love. If you're criticizing from a mental aspect, then you have to fill your thoughts with love. And if you're criticizing out of words, then you change your words into love, or you remain silent. And I think part of the Master's teachings is so much, so what all the things you can do to support people, every pearl has things you can do to support people that are on drugs, or support people that are newly in the teachings, or support people that had an abortion or whatever. So there's almost an infinite amount of ways you can support people. Criticism, condemnation, and judgment is one of the challenges I'm going through right now. And I realized a serious problem when I was in the world before coming here. It's as if the world doesn't really even think it's a problem at all. It's just a very natural thing. It's just part of life to say whatever they want to say about people. And now I realize how much it is a problem. So I'm dealing with that the best I can. And there's all kinds of teachings I've found, and I could go on. And we know so many of them. And the Masters have really worked with me on this since I've been here. If I may, tell a couple of stories. The first one's almost kind of humorous the way they're working with me, but I was doing the 144 Estrellas, and I got tired of visualizing the circle and sword of blue flame after a while, so I tried to think of other things to visualize, and I would visualize words in front of me like pride. I visualized a violet flame consuming it, and a different word coming out of it like love or humility. And then I visualized criticism, condemnation, and judgment, those words in front of me, and I visualized them on fire. And I decided at that point I would let the visualization go and see where it went. And what happened was the words started melting and they formed into a basketball. And at that point I thought, well, I'm starting to daydream again and this isn't good. But I decided I would let it go a little bit farther. So what I did in my mind is, without thinking about it, I picked up that basketball and I took a shot. I was on a playground and I took a shot at the rim. I missed and the ball came back to me. And I looked at the ball, and in small letters it said, "Judge not." And I didn't know what this was supposed to mean because I knew that teaching. So I took another shot, hit the rim, and bounced back again. And it said, "Judge not, that you be not judged." And so I couldn't figure out what was going on. I took another shot, bounced back, and then with what judgment you judge. And then it started sinking in. I was just about to start dribbling the ball. And it started sinking in that when you send out criticism, it bounces right back to you. And as fast as I can dribble that basketball, and as fast as it bounces back to me, that's how fast criticism and negative energy will come back. And so I figured, I know the teaching, you send out love and it bounces back to you. So this is something that's personal to me that I can remember and and concentrate upon. The second little story is...
The conclusion of that story is that the more you judge, the more you miss the basket.
Right, I didn't make any shots, that's correct.
That's right.
Right. They're all bricks. But and then the second story is I was sitting in class with everybody, and the teaching assistant told a wonderful story about Thomas Becket, and she told the whole story about the part where he was in the cathedral, and there's a lot of people there, but these 4 knights came in with their swords, and you know the story basically, but everybody had ran away except for one monk, and I just thought it was really amazing that one monk was so brave and so courageous that he could stay there with Thomas Becket, and in the face of this horrible danger, he had no sword or anything to fight these people, but he stayed there with Thomas Becket, and I really had a lot of love and respect for that person. I saw him as a Chila, and when the first knight went to strike El Morio with his sword, as you recall in the story, he held up his arm and tried to deflect that blow, and I thought I thought that was the ultimate courage to stand there with the defenseless and be with Thomas Becket. And I said, this man's a Chila. And as I thought of that, I thought to myself, well, any person in this room could be that Chila, re-embodied. And I thought, if I knew that, would I treat that person with the same love and respect I'm treating them now, or would I treat them more? And I realized I would treat them with more love and respect. And so I thought to myself, I should treat everybody as if they are that monk. That's how much love and respect I should have for everybody, because it could be, and anybody in the street could be that person. And we're all God inside anyways. So those are just personal ways that I try to work with this. And I think the ultimate way of supporting people is to become the Christ, to go after the 9 gifts of the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit, be the flame of the Holy Spirit, become the Christ, and you can support God working through you. Can support so many people on the earth in such a greater way, and that's the greatest way that you can support the greatest number of people.
Before you leave, I'd like to make the comment, and that is, we've all criticized, condemned, judged, and gossiped about people, whether in this life or past embodiments. And I think we should use the power of the spoken word at every opportunity we have to, in all honesty, compliment someone about something that we believe is true and beautiful in that person, which means you have to take time to get to know a person, to see their precious qualities, and then not to be silent, but to say them kindly and humbly and not be overbearing, but to remark to people that you have noticed this and that quality or this and that beautiful something about them. And I think each time we are willing to speak the truth about someone and to give of our love and not want compliments ourselves, but always wanting to give, that each time we express that compliment, that approval, that kindness, we are erasing by action one time when we criticized, condemned, or gossiped. And I think that this is an example of transmutation by action. Do not withhold love. Do not look at someone who does something better than you and say, boy, I'm really jealous of you. I'm so jealous I can hardly stand it. People say things like that in the world today. But rather to recognize that someone can do something that you can't do at all, and to be able to commend them for their diligence in this discipline or this service. And it's very humbling, because we know that it's because we are all one that we can together be the body of God and work a change on the earth. And it's all of our talents combined. So why would we condemn one another when we all need everybody else's talents that we don't have? So think about transmuting your CCJ and gossip by speaking kind and loving words that are always truthful, never hypocritical. Don't ever give someone a compliment that you don't mean. But find something to say about people that is true, that you've observed to be true.
Okay, thank you, Mother.
Thank you. 31 and 32.
Hello. My question is, question number 31. What feelings are you trying to numb with work, excessive activity, or synthetic substances? And question number 32 is, what do you use or buy to numb your feelings? I think really relating to my feelings, really owing my feelings, really discriminating about them and expressing them according to the will of God. And
This question is, what feelings are you trying to numb?
yes,
Or that means to make silence. How are you trying to silence your feelings?
silence the feelings.
Mhm.
And so I thought I had the question in two ways. The first part, the numbing part,
Mhm.
and for that I had that I felt my numbing ways were not so much taking addictive substances, but it was more an emotional and mental density. Too much arrogance, too much disobedience, too much stubbornness, too much rigidity, and qualities of that kind that really stopped me from being deeper in tune with my emotions and deeper in tune with my mind. And I feel that in terms of buying or so on, I don't do this so much, but that I really need to work at both the negative qualities of selfishness, but also at the positive qualities of what I really have to achieve in this life in order to fulfill my divine plan, and to really try and focus on both my emotions and my mind so that they are coordinated and that I have a greater God vision.
So you have to learn to own your own feelings, to look at them for what they are. If you are angry, you need to own your anger. If you are sad, then you have to own or acknowledge your sadness. So whether it's a good feeling or a bad feeling, we need to own our feelings and observe them to the point where we know exactly what we are making the calls on. So we accentuate the positive feelings and observe ourselves when we have negative feelings. So that we say, I'm in command here. I'm not the victim of my emotional body. I am the captain of my ship and of my fate. So I will no longer silence my feelings. And if they are ugly, I will look at them and I will decide that I will change them. Some people use alcoholic beverages, all kinds of stimulants, uppers, downers, sugar, food, spending money recklessly. People do all kinds of things because they don't own their feelings, don't know what their feelings are, have no idea why they are doing what they are doing, and do not even know when they are depressed. Others may observe that they are depressed, but they do not know that they are depressed. Getting to the core of feelings means we are getting to the core of our desire body. Feelings come in the emotional quadrant of the cosmic clock, as you know. So our feelings are often expended based on our desires. If we want to correct our feelings and emotions, then we have to put the rein on our desires and work with the 5 Dhyani Buddhas and the 5 poisons and the 5 antidotes. So if we carry wrong desire, then our feelings will reflect it. what you have to realize is you can get along with God. He's not this great taskmaster. If you espouse right desire in the 5 ways and then the 6th that we have in our teachings, you can find that God will fulfill in you all that was worth desiring. If it's not worth desiring, God's not going to help you with it. But if you can realize that there are substitutes, just like there's substitutes for smoking, there's substitutes with all kinds of bad habits, you can transform and transmute wrong desire by displacing it with right desire and know fulfillment and know satisfaction in your life and in your work. Let's remember that. God has given us the freedom to desire many things. In fact, everything He could ever want for us, we may also desire. So let's surrender what God doesn't want for us. There's no point carrying that around. If you know something about yourself that isn't God's desire for you, kick it out. Get rid of it. It's just going to be an albatross around your neck for the rest of your life. God has many substitutes to bring you happiness. And when you think you're giving up something that was really great, it's really nothing compared to what He gives you in its place. So, thank you very much. Let's conclude with questions 33 and 34.
Hello, Mother. Hello, friends. My questions are 33 and 34. Whom do you pay to express themselves on your behalf? I've paid many people to do this. I pay the church to represent me spiritually, various charitable organizations to represent me as well. I pay the movie actors and TV actors to express their feelings on my behalf. And the same would be true of different artists and different musical performers and dancers as well. Question 34. What does it cost you to do this financially? Probably $20 to $100 a month to do this kind of thing at different times, as far as the actual cost. Emotionally, what is the cost? The cost to myself, because I've misused entertainment in terms of letting other people express themselves for me, when I should have been expressing my own creative desires. That cost has been immeasurable. When the efforts and achievements of others become a substitute for your own creative endeavors, you've lost something. You've lost something very real. And over the years, though I've been creative, I've lost quite a lot. And I regret that. When I substitute someone else's creative expression for my own, I'm simply giving my soul, my inner child, a pacifier. It's just like you'd give to a child. You don't have time for them, so you say, here, you put this plug in their mouth. You know, I'm busy right now. I can't deal with you. It's like you're driving the car down the road and you've got the kids in the back seat and they're wanting your attention and you say, I can't do that right now. I can't deal with you. But they have their needs. They need to be listened to. You know, the noisiest one usually gets the most attention. That's probably your ego, you know. The ego needs food. It needs this. It needs that. So you're feeding it. You're giving it things, you know, because it's the noisiest. And then the one that's the silent, the quiet one, the most creative one is more like your soul, that creative child. It needs your help. It needs your guidance. It needs you to stop and listen to its needs. This question has been a blessing, and like many blessings, it's painful. I didn't think when I read it that it would be, but it has been. My soul yesterday took me on a journey. And it was a journey that was the beginning when we all came to earth. And it was the concept that each of us came with a gift. We all came bearing a gift like a child bringing a gift at Christmas. It's that special thing that only you have, that only you can give, that you came here to give to everyone. The pain of it that was a joyful moment, but the pain was when that gift was rejected, whether by oneself through ignorance or by others through a callous lack of attention or a feeling that they had no need. And so embodiment after embodiment, the soul has come with its gift to give. And we contain it within us, and it's there. I mean, at this point, I guess the package is tattered, and we're still carrying it, we're still offering it up. It's kind of like when you see a little child, who has something to give you that they think is so special. They're holding it up to you, and they're so expectant. They know that you're going to love it, and then you don't pay attention. You don't receive it. I would like to, I guess the message I wanted to give, and I didn't intend to be this emotional about it, but it's okay, because that's what I'm feeling, is that listen to your soul. Take the time to be an empty vessel. Take the time to care for yourself and nurture that soul. Don't let the emotional rush of a substitute form of entertainment, of someone else's achievement, gloss over the pain of your soul that is waiting there to create. Because that's what it is. When you let someone else create for you, there is a rush, and you get that feeling. And it's a sense of satisfaction. It's like if you eat some sugar, it keeps you from feeling hungry, but it doesn't satisfy your hunger. If you squash your soul and you squash its creative need in whatever area, it doesn't have to be the arts. It's what every area is, a creative field. There is nothing but creativity in the universe. Whatever you're doing, it's a creative thing, it's an important thing, and it must be done. There's a stream, a pure stream that runs through you of love, and you have a special way to express that. It might be to a few people, it might be to many, but you must express it. And you cannot stop listening, and you cannot squelch that voice of that little child. You have to let that gift be offered, especially with us here. We want this to be our last lifetime or our next to our last time. That gift must be offered. You cannot let it be covered up by anything. Not the shoulds, not the musts in life, not the needs of others. You've got to consider the greatest need. You can't let a substitute steal your creativity and steal your gift. So get to know that little child. Get to know your soul. Get to know what your gift is and give it. Or the price you pay will be greater than you wish to pay. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Looks like my songbook went away, but there's one down here. I'd like us to sing to our soul. Look through my soul, O Christ divine. And then we'll sing to our beloved El Moria. Can you give me that number? Please stand and give your calls to your Holy Christ self. for the resurrection of your soul. Hymn 15. Sing to beloved El Moria. Number 188. And 89, 189, and 190. Please speak to El Moria. In the name of the light of God, which never fails, I call forth the heart of beloved El Moria, the heart of God's holy will. I ask for the pattern of your heart to be superimposed upon the pattern of our hearts, that your holy love for the holy will of God might engage us, intensify within us, raise us, purify us, and bring us to the oneness that we long, to be fused with our holy Christ self, to be one in our mighty I Am presence. Beloved El Moria, for all ages past and all to come, we pledge our love to thee for thy solicitous manifestation in our midst, for caring for us and caring again and again and again. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and the Divine Mother. Amen. Thank you very much. I wanted to tell you that it is such a joy to my heart to experience what profound understanding you truly have of this teaching and this path. As we hear your offerings, I don't think that any group of people have reached the depth of these questions as we have at so many levels. It's a wonderful text, and it's wonderful to go through it together, because we are really all learning from one another. And I can feel everyone's soul so attentive to the soul who is speaking, because there's something so precious from each one. And I also want to tell you that I think you realize that we have an I Am the Witness column in our Pearls of Wisdom. And if any of you would like to share anonymously the things that you have spoken here, if we could have the transcript of it, we would publish it without your name on it. Just so people around the world know something of what our hearts and our souls are doing, what Summit University is like, but most of all, to share these precious pearls and to recommend that people read the book and answer the questions. I think that's the great gift of the author, to ask questions, to force us to answer these questions. It's really, the book wouldn't be as good without it at all, because it doesn't require us to probe. We can just keep on reading if we're not being interrogated. And I think we've learned so much from the unique answers we've been hearing. So we'll see you Thursday. Bye-bye.
It's time to take a break, and then yoga and Tai Chi will be in 15 minutes' time at the Tree Farm. We also want to let you know that the El Moria Vigil will be at 6:30, and we'll be staying.